Time to get the blocks glued in, but first we've got to make some calls and some little guides to help position the blocks and make sure they don't move during the gluing. I made some curved calls for gluing the end block in. They're not quite the same curve as the end block. They're actually 4mm recessed from the end block, which is to allow for the thickness of the side and then a thickness of cork, which I'm going to put on now. If you want to see how I made these, it's basically the same method as this. I used a rebate bit to give me that 4mm back from the edge, or rather 2mm back from the template, and it was much easier than the end block because I was able to just make the thinner middle section and this one, and then just laminate two pieces on top and then wrap them flush with the middle bit. So not quite as tricky as the end block. So I've got to put some cork on them. These are two very porous surfaces, so actually I reckon the way to do this is to stick loads of super glue on, which dries almost instantly. Let the joint fail and then reapply the glue, and it will stick the second time. See, fails. And the second time's a charm. Well, almost. Okay. This is my angle, 75.5 or 0.6 as I've got here, and that's the angle of my tail block, and I'm going to make some calls and some little clamping guides at that angle. So far so good, but I am going to take 25mm off this, make it into two parts, and you'll see why later. Failed. That's actually quite warm. When superglue sets, it's exothermic. I'll try that again. That's better. That actually set okay without accelerator, so, and without doing it again. So sometimes you can get away with it. got that spot on first time. Oh my god. Yay! I've got tape on the other side, and clearly I can't have tape this side. This is proving awkward. I've got to measure, I want to put some guidelines in, and I can't really reference the side, and I can't get a measuring device in here. I haven't got a ruler short enough, and my calipers set to 34mm won't go in there, so I think I'm going to have to reference the 34mm on a piece of paper. Got it dry clamped in place, and it's square to the join, and I'm now going to just tack some little guides in place so that we can, when gluing, it's not going to shift, and it should be exactly where we need it. I think it probably needs more super glue than that, but we'll see. Maybe not. Those are secure enough that I can just relocate the block and it won't shift. Nice. Well, I think I'll just go for it. A little bit nervous, but let's do it. I want to put a clamp either side to get pressure across the gaps, and I don't lined up yet. Doing it this way also means it's a bit more stable when I flip the whole thing. we go. Now tail block. I haven't put any guides in here because I can just line it up with the pencil marks, and I've got a block in the base that's supporting it. Make sure I've got the top upwards. There is a slight difference left to right, so it is important I get this the right way up. It's not entirely symmetrical. Now with this one I'll put a clamp in the middle to begin with. Get it nice and tight. We've got some wedge. There we go. No, put some sandpaper in here, it'll hold the caul in place. That's better. That's pulled together quite nicely actually. Right, flip the whole thing. Together, and we'll do the sandpaper trick. Didn't expect to use so many clamps. I've run out of clamps for this end. And I think I'll put another clamp in if I can get it in there. Oh dear. I forgot to put greaseproof paper over the end of the guitar. Let's see how easily these guides are going to come out. Ah, not at all easy. Oh dear. Well, that one came off. It's possible some glue got underneath here and it's actually glued it on using wood glue. No, I'm going to have to somehow lever those off with a chisel or something, or just chisel them out. I wonder if it's just a matter of getting the chisel under the edge. I think I'd better play safe and just chisel them off. Actually, it was only glued at the edge, it's come off fairly easily. That's a lot easier. Well, that all went remarkably well. I have got a perfect joint up here. It's not quite perfect down here. At the bottom, the joint seems to have opened up a little bit, possibly due to wood shrinkage, I'm not sure. Curves, clamping, all the different shapes. I think I'm being a little harsh on myself. It's gone really well, and of course there's going to be an end graft down here, so it'll all look wonderful. So I am very relieved by that. I was a little bit nervous about this. This is the stage, the bending, the blocks. This was the bit I was a little worried about, but I think it should all go much smoother now. Where do we go next? Well, clearly we've got the linings to do, but we might be having a little bit of a play. We shall see. Mystery. So stay tuned. Well, whatever it is, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.